I hope everybody had a great weekend. We're actually in the second month of 2021, which I think we're all pretty happy about. And at the same time, I know what's going on for you right now. You feel like quitting. How do I know these things? I don't know. I just know. You feel like quitting today. I know. This is the hardest month, I think. I know some people get blue in January. For me, it's February, but I wore my heart shirt today. It is Black History Month in the United States this month. Please make sure I have a little challenge for you. I would like for you to research one person that you don't know about and learn their story. That's all I'm going to say. Just one person that you don't know about yet. Research their story. Find out something you don't know about what it means to be Black in America today and what it has meant throughout our history to be Black. Deal? All right. Now, I know you want to quit, right? I know. I don't know what it is. It could be you want to quit working on that one relationship. It could be you want to quit finding a relationship. It could be that you want to quit that project you're working on for work, or maybe you want to quit a goal that you set up for the beginning of 2021. How do I know these things? I know it's creepy, right? I'm sorry. It's kind of my job. All right, so number one, if you want to quit right now, can we talk about what's really going on? Not the cute little, I'm afraid. I don't do that anymore. Fear? No, we're over that. Like, if you haven't found enough platitudes on Instagram to get you through fear, I honestly, like, dude, seriously, what are you doing? Like, knock it off. That just doesn't even work anymore. So it's not that you're scared. So I love y'all, but please don't tell me you're scared, because it's not going to work with me. Sorry. No. You're not scared anymore. We've all been at this long enough, and even if you have just started your business, or you've just started a new initiative, or you've just started launching things a new way, and obviously I'm really focused here on those coaches, consultants, and like professional business services. Like, you know who you are, you guys who are like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm scared. Or I don't want to do that whole thing. That's not what it is. I'm about to bust y'all, okay? And tomorrow's podcast is going to just complement this little situation, all beautiful, all together, wrapped up with a bow. I have decided to be kind of my kick-ass self in 2021. I know, I was known as the kick-ass business mentor for a really long time. That was part of my branding for a really long time, and you guys named me that. I didn't name me that. You guys named me that. And I think it's time for that kick-ass business mentor to come back. So you ready? Do you want to know what's really going on? Because you're not scared. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. That's actually what's going on. You want to do it one time and just be done, and that's not how this works. It's hard. You're not scared. You're not worried. It's hard. Now, you might be worried you're never going to figure it out. That I can get. That's like, oh my gosh, how many times does this take? And the hard answer to that question is it takes as many times as it takes. It takes as long as it takes. And here's what you have to do in the face of that, okay? You have to do everything that you can do from where you are right now. I'll say that again. You ready? If you're feeling like you want to quit, your job is to do everything that you can do within your ability right now. And you have to do it to the best of your ability. So for those of you who are like, Sarah, I don't even know what to do next. And I know that that can be a kind of a stumbling block too, right? Like the ability to focus on just one thing. And the thing I'll say to you about that is, whatever it is you're doing right now, do it better. That's something I'll give you right away. Like if you're feeling like itchy stuck, whatever it is you're already doing, start doing it better. Right? So if you're a salesperson, and I'll talk about this in tomorrow's podcast more, but if you're a salesperson, make more sales calls. If you're a salesperson, make more sales calls. That's what you can do better right now. From where you are right now, what you can do it better. If you're a writer, make it better. You can use, I think it's Mark Twain who said, if I had more time, it would have been shorter. Right? Sometimes making it better is even doing less. If you don't know what your customers want or need from you, ask them. Do what you're doing now even better. Okay? So if you're currently like, what in the actual hell? Start doing what there is for you to do today better than how you did it yesterday, or hopefully you didn't work on Sunday, Friday, okay? Start doing it even better. Make sense? That is your number one thing. The second you feel like you want to give up, do it better. That's it. And the reason you want to give up is why? It's not because you're scared. It's because it's hard. Let's say you are on a multi-level marketing team, right? And who gets highlighted at the conferences? Who gets the rewards and all of the accolades? The people who work the hardest, right? It doesn't mean that they don't take breaks, and it doesn't mean they're frantic all the time. That's not it. They get the accolades and they get the rewards because it's hard. And there are fewer of them, right? There are fewer of them. Even in my industry, right? Look at that. How many people do you actually know by name? There aren't that many. Why? Because that's really hard to get there. And you got to figure stuff out, and you got to try again, and you got to try again, and you got to try again, and you got to try again. God knows I know. You don't want to give up because you're lazy. You don't want to give up because you're scared. You want to give up because it's hard. And the reason I say you're not lazy is that you've been sold a bunch of lies, right? You've been sold that it's super easy. You've been tricked, right? You've been told like, oh, just read this one book, do this one foolproof thing, do this one strategy, just get up and do it. It's no big deal. You've been taught that. You've been sold that. And that's why I say you're not lazy. You're not lazy. You've been sold a lie, and it's a lie that plays on our weakest, most basest human nature, which is just give me, make it easy. We just want that, right? And that's really what tomorrow's podcast is about, is that element of our human nature. And then in the podcast tomorrow, I'll walk you guys through 3 ways to get through that level of impatience that we all have. So you're not lazy, and doing this is hard. But I do also want to give you an exercise. I promised you guys I would give you a little treat. I want to call it a foolproof exercise, which is not something I say lightly, because I just told you, you got sold a bill of goods, right? Okay, this is not a bill of goods, and I'm not selling it. So how about that? How about I'm just here to help you, because it's coffee with coach time. Let's do this thing. All right. So if you do not have a piece of paper in front of you, please go get one. Now, what I want you to do with this piece of paper is I want you to draw a triangle. Okay, I want you to just draw a triangle like this. That's it. And at the top of the triangle, I want you to put the project. I don't want you to put your whole career. You could put your whole career if you want to, and I know in here we're focused on business, but if there is something in your life that you're wanting to work on, it could be your primary relationship. It could be your home. Like maybe you feel like your home space isn't quite where you want it to be. We'll be tackling that in February on the podcast as well. Maybe it's about the way you're treating your body, your health, your fitness, your vitamins, supplements, the way you're eating, the way that you're treating your body throughout the pandemic, that sort of thing. It could be friendships. A lot of people are feeling lonely. I want you to pick the one thing you're about to give up on, the one thing you say you're scared of, the one thing that's always occurred as too hard for you. And it could also be maybe you're about to give up on being consistent. That's a thing, right? You're like, no. But I do, even if that's sort of where you are, I want you to pick the category that you really want to work on. It could be a project you're about to give up on, right? We're re-recording yet another webinar for our Facebook ad series. And it's like, oh my gosh, right? I don't want to do that. I really don't. It's like, oh my gosh, but we don't have it yet. So I have to keep trying until we get it, because I know it's possible and I know what we have helps people. So who am I to get in the way of that? Do you know what I'm saying? Can you guys see that? Like I can twist this around and say, oh, I'm putting my own ego in front of helping more people. Yikes, right? That's not who we are. That's not the way that we want to work through stuff, right? But it's hard and I want to give up. I do. Oh gosh, hands up, right? You can get in that space. So figure out what that is for you. Okay, put that at the top of the triangle. Now draw the triangle. Now, you guys know I can get a little woo-woo. I'm not like super duper woo-woo, but I can get there. I can get like, oh my God, I decided something and boom, out of nowhere, amazing things started happening. You guys can play the game today if you want. Think of a friend you haven't heard from in a while and see if they don't reach out today or tomorrow. Just do it. It's a fun game. It's fun. That's the kind of woo-woo I dabble in. Right? Because the responsibility is with us to think of the friend. The responsibility is with us to come up with the project. The responsibility is for us to come up with the tasks. Okay? That's the piece we're going to do together now. And then I'll talk about what we could call the woo-woo aspects of not giving up. Right? And how we can start to see some magic along the way. Like real, like it's like borderline mind-blowing. But I'm not that woo-woo, right? I'm not going to tell you once you do this exercise, just sit on your couch and it's just going to be all just magical. That's not how it goes, okay? It's hard. It's hard. And anyone who sells otherwise is selling something. You're welcome. All right, so here we go. You got your triangle. Now, what I want you to do is draw a line right down the middle of the triangle, okay? Right down the middle of it. On the left side, what I want you to write is my responsibilities, okay? And I'll tell you how to fill that in. And then on the right side, you can write whatever works for you, right? So if you have a really strong religious background, it could be God's part, or if you're more spiritual, be the spiritual realm, or it could be the universe, or it could just be the aha times, right? Whatever it is you guys want to call it, because everybody's belief system is different, and I'm not interested in messing with that, okay? You want this to be your belief system. So if it is God for you, put that down. If it is the spiritual realm, put that down. If it is just the universe, put that down. If it's serendipity, put that down, okay? So on this left side, under my responsibilities, what I want you to do right now, and I want you to do it with me, and those of you who are Game On Girlfriend members, you know I mean this. Like when I say do the work, you sit down, you do the work with me, okay? So what I want you to do is put down every single thing. Remember I just said, what you're already doing, do it better. So every single thing that you can do to cause this project and this area of your life to be successful. And chances are you know what they are, they're just annoying or hard. So you got to look at your own projects. So let's say you're looking at a primary romantic relationship, which has been coming up a lot in this group. It's February, so let's talk about it, right? So are you on dating sites? Do you know who it is that you'd like to meet? How do you want to meet them? How do you want to feel when you're in the relationship? And what do you need to do to cause that to happen? Meaning, if you're looking for someone to fill a hole, right, like to fill a gap in your own spirit, in your own identity, that's not going to work, right? If you're looking for, you say, I just want to be happy, but why is your happiness dependent on another person? What do you need to do to have yourself be happy now, so when the person arrives, it's a compliment to your happiness now? Does that make sense? So go ahead and write down everything that's your responsibility on this triangle. What is your responsibility to cause this dream or goal to happen? Now, what I'd like you to do on the right side is talk about everything you can't have control over, which we learned a lot about in the last 12 months, right? So everything you can't control. What can you not control in this that you could use some help with, right? So when I used to do live events, right, what I can't control was the weather, right? I can't control if the night I decide to host a huge event, it decides to snow like crazy. I can't control that piece, right? So I would say to the universe, to God, spirit, whatever your belief system is, serendipity, whatever, that you would say the weather gets handled beautifully. So what you're doing by writing it down on this side of the triangle is you're actually asking for help. Right? You're not asking to be lazy. You're not asking to sit down like, I don't want to do anything, just make this happen for me, please. No, you're like, I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do everything I can from where I am right now to the best of my ability. Here's what I need support on for the things that I can't control. So go ahead, take a few minutes and do that. Go ahead and write out everything that's not within your control. So that could be who sees your posts, who watches your stories, who's on your newsletter list now still. I don't know about you guys, I call that thing like crazy. Every couple months I just kick hundreds of people off. I'm like, if you're not interested, get out. I don't want you here, right? So like you just kind of taking care of that, like who's on there are the people who are actively interested in what we're talking about, and they're actively interested in moving their lives forward. I can control that piece, but who ends up seeing the Facebook ad really, or who ends up signing up for one of our workshops, I can't always control that, but I can control the copy, and I can control how well I know them. But over here, I'm going to say, hey, universe, can you make sure if there's a woman right now who is struggling in her business, if there's a woman right now who feels like she absolutely is out of control and cannot focus, if there's a woman who doesn't believe in herself anymore and thinks she can't make money doing what she loves, can you please make sure she sees this? You see what I'm saying? I do all the work and then I ask for extra help on top. Now, the next time you feel like quitting, the next time you're like, I can't put another foot in front of the other. I can't. I want you to do this exercise. You guys can see, what did it take? 3 minutes, maybe 4. And I know you're here with me and I'm like forcing you to do it while you're with me, but like, you guys, this is not hard. This part's not hard. And what do you think also happens as you start to poke around on this? What else happens, right? You're looking at all the things you can actually start doing. And almost by default, you guys, you do what I always tell you to do when you create goals. I never say to you, have the goal be, or your steps be, write a book. Well, If you write that down, you're never going to do it. If you write a book. It's just going to be this monumental, huge thing you're never going to get done. But when I say to you, what are your responsibilities? You start automatically breaking it down into tasks. Did you notice that? It's like, oh, I got to write better marketing copy. Oh, I got to reach out to more people. Oh, I got to make sure I'm clear on what I'm doing. Oh, I got to make sure the hashtags are correct. And now you actually have a list of doable tasks. And if anything on the left side feels like it's bigger than that, break it down. It usually doesn't. So for those of you that would normally write down, let's say you have a big goal and you would write down, write book, right, as your task, right, which is impossible, right? You'll be like, I can't. But if you say write page 1 of chapter 1, well, that you can do, right? Outline the first 3 chapters, that you can do, right? But in this specific instance, most of you, if you did write down, normally you would write down write book, you'll actually write in the triangle, you'll write sit down and actually start writing. You see it already is smaller. And then the next thing is, okay, when I sit down to write, what am I writing? I'm writing the outline of the first 2 chapters. Awesome, okay. And then the next time I sit down and write, what am I doing? And now you're also seeing that part of your responsibility is creating a list of actionable tasks, not big fat goals that are going to confuse you. Does that make sense? It makes such a difference, doesn't it? I mean, you guys get it. If you were to sit down and be like, I have to write a whole book today, you're not going to do it. But if I say to you, give me the first 3 sentences of chapter 1 in the next 20 minutes, you'll do it. And what do you think is going to happen? You're going to write those first 3 sentences and then it'll start to come out of you, right? It'll start to flow and then I'm not going to interrupt you so you can keep going, right? That's exactly the way that happens. And you want to kind of plan for that, get strategic, get thoughtful. But do you see how you start to get excited just by doing this exercise? Because now you can see what's actually within your control to do. And it gives you back the control. And I promised you in today's Coffee with Coach, we would talk about what you actually have control over, which is the left side of your triangle, and what you don't have control over, which is the right side of your triangle. And now you have a clear distinction between where you need to start taking action and where you need to trust. And you cannot just trust. Right? So for those of you that have a spiritual belief or you're super woo-woo or wherever it is you fall on that spectrum, right? You can see by doing this triangle exercise that you can't do nothing and expect the universe to work, right? Because if you look at what's happening on the right side is have the right people see my Facebook ad. Have that woman who's aching inside of her own office right now because she cannot figure out how to make money in her business. Please help her find me. Well, if I'm not doing anything, how the hell is that supposed to happen? If I'm not doing Coffee with Coach, if I don't write Facebook ads, if I don't have a program to help her, well, how the universe can't do anything. God can't help. Spirit can't help. Serendipity doesn't even know what's going on, right? Because you didn't do anything. Do you see? And so this brilliant little exercise, one, it gives you tasks. It'll get you revved up and excited to go. It will show you which actions you have not been taking. And you can see right there, they're going to be right in front of you. And you go, oh, that's my responsibility. I'm not ready to give up just yet. And it's hard. But as you'll see in tomorrow's podcast episode, it's not just the one-time thing, you guys. Like literally, I've had people come to me before when they're working on a marketing campaign, right? And let's say their best goal is to have 50 people sign up. Their okay goal is to have 30 people sign up, right? And their, oh crap, we didn't do so well is 15. I don't know, right? I just made that up, right? But you go through that and they do one organic Facebook post. And they're like, Sarah, nobody signed up. I'm like, I'm shocked. You guys, it doesn't work that way. They're like, I went into 3 groups and added value. 3? Did you know? Really? And every single person in that whole group has seen that post in the last 5 minutes? Is that, what? You guys, this is an all the time game. The pieces on the left side, these small bite-sized tasks, they're ongoing. And that's where it gets quote unquote hard. Because once again, you've been sold the idea that this should just be easy breezy lemon squeezy. Like you're 5. But I want you to notice, for those of you that watch the conference, you know what I'm about to say, right? That lie you tell yourself is one actually that children don't have. Because if they did, none of us would have learned how to walk. Don't lie to yourself. about how long this should take, right? Or how many people should see it. You don't get to say that. You have control over exactly one thing, and that's how many times you try and how well you try. And if you just throw stuff up against the wall and go, see, I'm not going to have much empathy for that. Did you do the market research? Did you talk to the people you want to help? Did you make a difference in their day-to-day life? Were you there for them when they needed you? Did you show up consistently? And do people know who you are? Then we can talk about what's successful and what's not successful in your eyes. The other thing I want to talk to you guys just about limits really quickly as you're doing this exercise, okay? Do this anytime, you guys, anytime you're like, oh my God, I can't do it, I'm so stuck. Just do this exercise. You'll feel a bazillion times better and you'll get into action really quickly, which is what matters, okay? Really quickly, I want to talk to you guys about limits and the limits we put on things. And this comes from money and one of my exercises in money that I love to do. And that is, you guys, I want you, the next time you see a penny on the ground, I want you to watch your reaction to it. Do you pick it up and go, oh my gosh, I attract money every time, all the time. Look at me. Oh, I find money everywhere I go. Do you actually have that reaction or are you too cool? It's a penny. That's gross. I'm so not picking that up. Think about that. Because the universe, God, serendipity, whatever, they don't know amounts. Only we do that. So when you respond that way, God, universe, they don't know if you're responding that way to $1 million or a penny because it's all the same. It's money that just got put right in front of you. Are you going to be grateful for that or are you too good for it? And that's the same thing that starts happening with your tasks. Only 15 people signed up. Oh my God. I'm sorry, did you just have the opportunity to change 15 people's lives? Are you too cool for that? That's not good enough for you? Those 15 people don't matter because you created an arbitrary number? See what I'm saying? We do those limits. Don't do that to yourself. Both ways, right? And whatever, by the way, whatever your goal is, add a 0 to it. Have some fun. See what happens. And understand that by adding the 0, you remove the limit. And chances are you'll probably make more money or you'll have more people enroll because you're more open. You're not putting limits on things the way we've been taught to, right? And I get it. I'm kind of there with you in the moment, but I know we get to keep going, right? And that's really a privilege. We get to keep going. We get to keep trying. We get to get better at this. And this is where most people quit. This is why more people aren't successful because the first time, the second time, the third time they tried it, it didn't go exactly the way they wanted. So they want to quit. So do this task and get excited about what's possible and then take very seriously the tasks that are your responsibility and do what needs to get done.